I got drafted to the New York Knicks. To the Knicks. As you know, after the rookie showcase, I didn't show it to you guys. I just wanted to get it over with, but I didn't want to worry about that. So, I got drafted to the New York Knicks. Rookie year. I didn't think I would have got drafted to the Knicks, but I was pick number 24. So,
the key has been the rebounding department. This club dominating the paint area, and if this continues, they'll be in great shape.
Well, they've done two things. They've limited second chances, and they've been able to flex their muscle down low.
Give me that issue, baby.
You know, in Larry Drew's case, it was a bit of an unusual situation once the season concluded. He was in the final year of his deal. The Hawks said we'll interview other candidates and left him free to interview for other head coaching positions, and he landed in Milwaukee.
Here's Sanders. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way. 1:25 left to play in the first half. The Cobra passes to Smith. The Cobra. Foul call. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Well, Stephen, back to Coach Drew, of course. He ended up signing the Bucks.
What?
Well, that was an interesting move for him to go from Atlanta to Milwaukee. You know, the Hawks were one of the better defensive teams in the league last year. I think that's what the Bucks saw in Drew. And that's the idea for him to really help this team get the most out of its players, particularly defensively.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Chandler comes in for Meta World Peace. And it's Stoudemire in for Carmelo Anthony.
He did it.
Yeah, guys, it's his consistent shooting that's really helped get his team into a position they're in right now.
Sanders with the steal.
Wow, what?
And now here comes Rittenauer leading the break. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending goal right there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. Can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them liked it.
Brandon Knight, he's checking.
Wow!
Tough break for the defense. He took the heat and drew the whistle.
Yep, but when you get there late, that's what happens.
And I'll say this about him, Kevin. I mean, looks like he's made of rubber sometimes because defenders just bounce off him when he's driving the lane. What a finisher.
Another area where he excels is on one of the most fundamental plays in basketball, the pick and roll. He will lower the boom on the defender with a solid screen, and then is terrific at rolling into space and getting the basket. Well, I tell you, he squeezed that orange as tight as he could before that throwdown.
Yeah, no way he was going to lose that thing on the way up. You're right, Clark.
Better safe than sorry. I mean, you got to be sure when you're in traffic.
Here's the Cobra. Let's go. That's short off the rim.
Come on!
With the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be. Firmly in control of this game.
Yeah, they have not let their guard down one bit in the paint.
Oh, J.R. Smith!
Alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop.
Bullshit.
Finding gaps and making good decisions.
Give me that! And one!
Knocking down shots.
Well, the way he played that first half, that's exactly what we're talking about when we say
the free throw
offensive efficiency.
Ilyasova, he's checked in for Carlos Delfino.
You know, the Knicks got off to a fast start, but when you employ as many old bodies as they did last year, it's hard to sustain the level of play you need over the course of a full season. It's one reason they started to falter a bit late in the year.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, a curious signing for the Bucks this offseason, bringing in Pachulia on a 3-year mid-level type deal. This is a team that already had a logjam in the front court with Sanders, Henson, Ilyasova, and Drew Gooden. The Bucks traded away promising forward Tobias Harris last year for what became a couple of second-round picks. They did much the same with Rob Musa. It's all about getting the most out of your assets. Guys, we'll see how the Bucks do shuffling their pieces around.
It'll be interesting to see. Thanks, Doris. And Clark, you said it, the Knicks did hit that lull last season right after the All-Star break into early March. And Steve, when the Vets saw the finish line in sight, they picked up their play and got back in it.
That's right. They won 13 games in a row late in the season, catapulting themselves back into the top tier of teams in the East. Let everyone know that they would not be exiting the playoffs early. That really was the start of that run.
Smith off the pick from Stoudemire. Passes it to the Cobra.
Teammates and the game planner. Just a very, very smart player and a hard worker as well.
Oh! Behind the back! Let's do it!
And he's got 14 points.
Really not hard to see why they're giving them points on this run. I mean, they're just giving them too many looks inside.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting pounded in there. The defense not offering much resistance. They've got to force the ball back out to the perimeter.
Kicks it to Mayo. They get it back.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow.
Anthony against Butler.
Yeah, Anthony. Yeah.
The feed to Ilyasova. He dishes it to Sanders.
Ilyasova.
Hits the jumper. Sanders has got 4 points in the quarter. Knicks trail by 12.
You know, the Bucks were the last team to make it into the Eastern Conference playoffs, and part of the reason that happened was because they didn't really do well against the rest of the conference. 24 and 28 against the East.
The shot's good from the Cobra.
After a horrible half of shooting, they bounced back here in the second half and picked up their shooting percentage quite nicely.
To the inside, and Sanders goes
another alley.
Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost now.
Oh! Broke his ankles! Broke the ankles. Shall we rewind that? I just broke his ankles. Watch. Yeah. Woo! I just broke D. Rose's ankles.
Guys, what did you think about his comments in the press conference after the last game?
You know, I think he said the right things after that first game. It's a big one because it is your first taste of NBA action, but he seemed to keep it all in perspective. It's just one game and a long line of what will be many.
Well, it's important for young guys like that to mature quickly and to understand how the NBA operates. And the fact that you have to keep an even keel.
Oh, yeah.
Or you'll go crazy. So,
give me that
right away.
And back to the Bulls in the East. It wasn't just one guy who stepped in the shoes of Rose or the departed Ashik. It was a group effort.
You know, you looked at the roster last year, you kind of scratch your head. You go, how is this team going to get to the second round without Derrick Rose? But they did it with a group of role players, with a front line that was tough and nasty and rebounded well, and with great coaching, too.
Shumpert with it. He's picked up by Dan. So the blows on the shot. 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You can't be the number 2 seed in the East by being mediocre on the road. I mean, the Knicks had a veteran group, and they all had the mental fortitude and experience to finish off games on the road last season.
Catching up on the changes for New York, Tyson Chandler. He's checked in for Bargnani. Stoudemire comes in for Meta World Peace. And Carmelo Anthony subbed in for Iman Shumpert. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Here's Rose. They get it back.
Shot defense.
Second chance shot. And that's
on me.
Rose has got his second bucket of the night.
They keep going down low with the ball, and it results in points. They're having their way in the paint.
And it's resulted in a big early lead, too.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been
pretty lopsided. Stop clock. Could have beat it. Could have beat
Tune
it.
in
but
next
my
Sunday
shot
night.
was an F, and there was no way.
Well, not exactly a close game.
Wow, 25 to 48. Jesus. Give me meat stick. Yo, meat stick.
Here's the Cobra. His last outing, he had 8 points. Outside jumper. And there's the pass.
Yes, Chandler.
Chandler to get it up front. And it's the Cobra in the point guard.
Another pair of ankles broken. Oh my god. Oh my god. 2 ankle breakers in one game.
The Cobras got 8.
Down.
And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes, Steve, these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward. This year and beyond.
Oh, man.
Will that wear them down? Their guys played too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Oh, Shumpert, baseline.
3-pointer.
Prigioni, 3.
Cannot hit. And in Chicago the other way. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Knicks team.
And I'll tell you what, of all the things they did well last season, maybe the most impressive was sweeping the season series against these guys.
No, give me that. Yes,
And foul called as he misses.
Oh!
Shoot 2. It's on Tyson Chandler.
Right.
Both of these teams battling last year near the top of the conference.
I know it's a little bit of a shame it was so lopsided, but we'll see how things play out this year.
J.R. Smith's checked in for New York. Felton comes in for Pablo Prigioni.
Hey, people had no idea, guys, how the Bulls were going to do last season dealing with the Rose injury, but they showed very quickly that they're going to be a team in the hunt, and they were still going to be hard to beat at home.
Clock at 6. Knocks it loose. And here we go. The Bulls straight. Here's Butler off his leg. And it's whistled a kick. Making its way here.
Oh, my God. I got moved this.
There's 14 seconds left to play here in the half.
I got moved back.
Rose attacking.
Rose. Rose.
On the finger roll.
Jeez.
Rose has got 6 points.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
Not often you see him take that shot. The hustle stats for the Bulls.
Boy, their hounding, harassing effort at the defensive end, very impressive. And they forced quite a few turnovers as a result.
It seems to me that they're taking a lot of pride in their rebounding tonight, especially at the offensive end, guys.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Knicks will retain possession. Here's what the schedule says for the New York Knicks and what it looks like. And after this one, they're home against Minnesota.
I believe getting assists at this point is going to be really hard because it seems like nobody on the team. Yo, seriously? I'm like the only one that's wide open. Fuck.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. Pass to the Cobra. Outside, world peace. 6 on the shot clock.
Yes, world peace. Give me that assist.
In the first half, they didn't shoot nearly as many threes. But finding themselves down now, they've started to cast up a lot more triples.
Shumpert against Butler. And Noah backs down. Misses off the left iron. Last game for the Bulls, they picked up the W against the Heat at the American Airlines Arena.
It was an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it was on the road. No question, by the way, that it was their offense that carried them.
Steve, I love the way they attacked at every opportunity. They never were on their heels, and eventually that allowed them to pull away.
Here's Rose. Trains it from 17 feet out.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Bargnani inside. Outside, world peace. From outside, off the mark.
Oh, he'd like to have that one back.
Yes. I guess that's somewhat decent, but we're gonna have to bounce back after next game.
The team struggled to stay in the game tonight, and the final score ended up not being even close. Do you think there was anything you or the team could have done differently to change the outcome?
Nah, not really. I mean, like Kobe says, we just wet the bed tonight. A nice big one, too. One of the ones you can't put a towel over. Not one of our best efforts by any stretch, but you have to roll with the punches, move on, and get back out there again next time. When everything goes wrong, and it's not one little thing that pushed you over the edge, it's a lot easier to just put it aside and move on to the next game. And that's what we got to try to do here.